Hey, this is Danny from Scare Talk. Before we get into all the horror greatness, I gotta let you know about Anchor. Anchor is the host site that we use to record our podcast. Anchor will upload your podcast to Apple and Spotify and many other listening platforms. Anchor is completely free, and you can download the app or go to the website, anchor.fm, and you can record straight on there. There's also some cool editing tools that you can use. Did I mention that it's free? Yeah, so if you want to make a podcast, Anchor is the way to go. Go check it out. Now, for the spooky stuff.
Welcome to Scare Talk, a horror movie podcast for horror fans. This podcast will cover horror movie reviews, ratings, and rankings. Now for your hosts, Danny and Joel.
Alright, this is Scare Talk. I am Danny, and I am sitting here with Joel.
Hey guys, what's up?
Today on Scare Talk, we want to talk about our top 5 most shocking moments in horror history.
Yes.
It's going to be a shocking episode. And I want to say, at least for my list, it's not like necessarily a twist shocking.
Mm-hmm.
It's more just like shocking.
Yeah.
You know?
I have a couple twists,
Yeah.
shockers on mine. But
Okay. All right, so let's just get into it. What's your number 5?
all right, my number 5 is going to be from one that we talked about earlier, 7.
Okay. Yeah, mine's on there. 7's on there for me too.
Nice. The shocking moment is
Wait. Before we continue.
Oh.
This is going to be a spoiler-filled
Yes.
episode because the shocking things might be the twist. So if we mention a movie that you haven't seen, then don't listen to that. Fast
Yes.
forward maybe to the next one because we are going to be talking about twists. And so, fair warning.
Yeah, this
go
whole
ahead.
episode is going to be just one big spoiler, basically.
Yeah.
Because even like shocking moments, like you don't
wanna
want to watch those when they actually happen.
Yeah.
So mine is from 7. It is the what's in the box moment at
Yes.
the very end.
Yes.
The shocking moment with that, with Kevin Spacey and Brad Pitt. Basically, Kevin Spacey is the murderer, is the killer in the movie, and he is up to the 6th deadly sin,
Yes.
which is envy.
Yes.
And he takes Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman's character to in the middle of nowhere, basically,
Right.
to show he's got something he's got to show Brad Pitt's character.
Yeah.
He's very excited about it. And when they get to the area, there's no one there, and there's nothing around. But then they see like a FedEx truck coming.
That's right.
Coming forward, and the driver comes out, and there's a box that he gives
package.
that he gives to Morgan Freeman's character.
Special delivery.
Special delivery, yes. And so that 6th deadly sin is envy,
Yeah.
because he envies the life that Brad Pitt and his wife Gwyneth Paltrow have, and he wants that. And so they get to the moment where he looks in the box, and it's Gwyneth Paltrow's head
Yes.
is in the box. And the 7th deadly sin is wrath. And so that is what he's trying. This whole thing is his work of art, his masterpiece. He wants to do the 7 deadly sins. And so in order for that to be complete, Brad Pitt has to kill Kevin Spacey.
Yeah. He has to become Wrath.
Yes, he has to become Wrath. And spoiler alert, he ends up killing Kevin Spacey because he couldn't handle him being alive.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame him for.
Yeah.
Honestly, probably in that position would have done the same.
Yeah.
I think most people would have
Yeah,
in that situation.
Yeah,
So,
he was hesitating for sure.
Yeah.
He was trying
Yeah.
to hold back his wrath, but the wrath took over.
It did, yes.
So the 7 deadly sins were complete.
Yes, they were.
Yeah. So in a way, he wins.
He does.
That's what he wanted.
Yep, that's what he wanted in the first place.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was pretty exhilarating.
Yes.
To just you didn't really know what he was trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
And Kevin Spacey's character, just the way he was talking about, his plans and stuff, just crazy.
Yeah.
Definitely the best part of that movie.
Definitely.
Yeah, very shocking and just exhilarating.
Yeah, it was.
So yeah, I agree with that, but that's a little higher up on my list.
Okay.
Yeah.
We will discuss that again at a later date.
Yeah.
Later time.
All right, so my number 5, it's not necessarily a moment. I would say it's like almost every moment
Okay.
of Rob Zombie movies.
Okay.
The dialogue in his movies are shocking to me. Just the things that these people say, it's just so, some of it is so detailed.
Yeah.
Like, about what they're going to do to the other person, or, it's just so shocking. And I don't know if anybody in real life talks like these people.
Yeah.
Like the Devil's Rejects, like the way they talk, the way the parents of Michael in his remake of Halloween, the way they talk. Just a lot of the character, like it's rare to have a scene with dialogue where there is not just gratuitous cussing and just descriptive, graphic, just sexual
Rob Zombie
dialogue.
and
Like
Quentin Tarantino should write a movie together.
yeah. Quentin's not nearly to the level of
Not
Zombie,
yeah.
though.
Not quite that bad, but he can get pretty bad.
He can get bad, but Zombie,
But yeah.
and it's the way that it's so dirty, the way that the characters are.
Yeah.
So it makes it even worse. Like his movies are just like so grimy, like they're uncomfortable to watch. So yeah, I just think it's shocking that you have to kind of go into his movies just knowing that
Yeah.
this is the things they're gonna say. It's just gonna be a lot.
He goes over the top with
Yeah.
pretty much everything.
Yeah.
So, all of his movies.
Yeah. So that's my number 5.
Okay. Just Rob Zombie, basically.
Yeah, and like every aspect of his movies when there's dialogue.
Oh.
That's the only one I kind of cheat on, though.
Mine, my number 4 is the twists and turns of The Others.
Yeah. I just watched that actually
Oh,
recently.
really?
Yeah,
It's
after
so
we were
good.
talking about that in a different one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one. Love it.
It's got some pretty crazy stuff going on in that movie.
Yeah.
And the very end of it just totally, completely flips the movie.
Well, say what it is.
All right, I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
So one of the, I know there's 3, but I can only remember 2 of them. The caretakers, they're in it throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
And Nicole Kidman and her 2 kids move into this like mansion.
Yeah.
And isn't it like Civil War era? Or is it-
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So Civil War era. I don't remember what state we're in.
Yeah, I don't
Something
know.
in the east. Yeah. So they move into this mansion, and the whole movie is pretty much in darkness.
Yeah.
Because both of the kids, which is a really crazy thing to have both of these kids, have this disorder where the sun they can't be in light in
They're
light.
allergic to light.
Yeah,
pretty
but like
much.
vampires.
Yeah.
And so the shades are drawn the entire time. It's dark. They've got candles everywhere.
Yeah.
Which adds to the the ominous
Ominous feel.
feel of the movie.
Yeah.
And these 2 older people come and just basically take care of the house, like take care of the yards and everything inside the house.
3.
Yeah, there were 3. That's right.
One of them is mute.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And you find out that these 3 people were actually dead the entire time.
Yeah.
They're ghosts.
Yeah. And like there's some hauntings going on where the little girl starts to see Victor.
Yeah.
Victor talks to her and stuff. And
Yeah.
we don't actually see Victor though.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the very end of the movie, which is when it just completely just turns the entire thing around, is you find out that the Nicole Kidman and her 2 kids were also dead the entire time.
Yeah.
And the person that the daughter is talking to, Victor, is a real person.
Yeah.
And they're the
alive.
ones. Yeah, he's alive.
Yeah.
He's living with his family in this house, in this mansion. And they're the ones haunting the house.
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
Yeah. Really, really cool.
To see it from
And
that.
I don't know if you remember how they died. Do you remember how they died?
Don't. It's been a while since I've seen it.
From the beginning of the movie, the girl, the daughter, she's talking about some event where Nicole Kidman's character went mad.
Oh, yeah.
And the
Drowned the
son...
kids.
I don't know if she drowned them, but she killed them at some point when she went crazy.
Yeah.
And then killed herself. Mm-hmm. And so that's how they died. And now, yeah, they're like ghosts,
Yeah.
I guess. And they're in the house, and they're trying to, just like the caretakers are in the house, and they say, you know, this is our house. And so they want to stay there, so people keep cycling through.
Yeah.
Like, people stay there for a little while, and because of them being there, the ghosts, I guess we'll say, they end up leaving. So they just kind of run into different people and scare them away. And so, yeah, really, really exhilarating twist.
Yeah. Exhilarating is the word of the day of this episode.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
I didn't put that on my list, though.
You should have. You must have some really good ones on your list.
I went kind of different with my list.
Okay.
A little different than... I do have one twist on my list, but not the other ones. So, my number 4 is Scream. Drew Barrymore.
The opening sequence, yeah.
Dying at the beginning of the movie, yeah. I was young when that came out. I want to say like 10, maybe 11 when that came out. And so I wasn't as aware of how much of a big deal that was when I actually watched the movie. And the marketing, I wasn't aware of the marketing and how she was on the cover and, you know, she was, you know, seen as the main character
Yeah.
in the movie when it came out. And so it didn't hit me like as a kid, you know. But growing up, I'm like, man, you know, that's ballsy. That's like, because Drew Barrymore, I mean, everybody knows who that is.
Yeah.
You know,
Even back in 96 when it came out, yeah.
Oh yeah, probably more so then than now.
Yeah.
But then you have all these other characters who are like nobodies, pretty much. I mean, they've been in some things.
Yeah.
But they're more so like newer actors. And then you have her, she kind of gives credibility to the movie. And then she dies super fast. But it was cool.
Yeah.
You know?
It was one of the best opening sequences of like any horror movie.
Yeah, it was definitely exhilarating the beginning of the movie. Like,
Yeah.
I would put that up there for the best opening scenes.
Opening sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Top 3 for me for sure.
Really cool. Do you like scary movies? And she says, I think Halloween is her favorite.
I think she did, yeah.
And what was kind of cool was she said Nightmare on Elm Street at one point. And then she says the first one was good, but the other one sucked.
Yeah.
And Wes Craven is the director of the first Nightmare on Elm Street and Scream.
And the Scream. All 4
He didn't
of the
direct
Scream movies.
the other Nightmares. He did direct one more. The
New Nightmare.
which is completely different from the other ones. But yeah, so I think that was kind of a little jab to the other directors and the franchise itself. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, that's, I think, pretty shocking. So
Yeah, it's a really good
was
scene.
that on your list?
It was not on my list.
Oh man,
Yeah.
we're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
A little variety.
I know. So my number 3, and this is one that we've actually discussed before.
Yeah.
It's the end of Saw.
Yeah, that's on mine too.
It's just it's such a good twist.
Yeah.
Just like that's the Scream opening sequence
Yeah.
is the best of like
Yeah.
any horror. Saw has to be one of the best twists
Endings.
of any horror movie.
Yeah.
One of. Not
Yeah,
the, but
and it's when that music hits, because of that ending, that scene, that is pretty much what made Saw.
yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't for that ending, I don't know if it would have continued. And then that music, when that hits, like, that's what made you recognize a Saw movie. Mm-hmm. And it's because of that twist there with that music, it's like exhilarating.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no other way to describe it.
It's a great scene. Count how many times we say exhilarating in this episode.
It's a good word.
It is a good word.
Next one, what am I at? Number 3?
Yes. Number 3.
Okay. Number 3, I have 7.
Okay.
So, we already talked about that.
Yeah.
It's exhilarating. It's still just like when we talked about it a couple minutes ago.
Yeah. Nothing's really changed.
Yeah.
With it.
Yeah. So, we can just move to your next one.
Okay. My number 2. I love my number 1 and number 2. Oh, they're both really good. But my number 2 is The End of the Mist.
That's exhilarating.
Oh, man. It is so good. So exhilarating. So basically, for those who have not seen the movie and don't care about the ending being spoiled for you, they are in this grocery store the entire movie, pretty much, except for maybe the first 5 minutes of the movie. And there is a fog that comes over the entire city, town, really.
Yeah.
And
as far as we know.
Yeah.
As far as we can see.
Yeah. And what was it? 5 people are able to, 5 are able to get out and into a car to escape. They run out of gas
There's
in the car.
creatures in
There's
this.
creatures in the mist. Yes, there's
that
creatures in
kill
the mist.
people. Like, people tried to get out, but they die.
Yeah, yeah, there was a lot more than just 5 people that got out, but they didn't make it. So 5 people are in this car. There's creatures all around them. They can't see them, and the fog is really thick. And their car dies and runs out of gas.
Yeah. Yeah, because they have to go super slow.
Yeah,
Because they don't know what's in front of them. They
Yeah.
can't see.
so
They didn't get very far.
no, they really didn't. So one of the characters has a gun. I think y'all know where it's going. And so they don't know where the end of the mist is. They don't even know if there is an end of the mist.
Yeah.
And so they're just like, well, it's either us die in the car or us getting torn apart out there.
Yeah.
And so the main character, who has a kid in the car with him,
Yeah, he has a
his
son.
son, and the love interest is also in there too.
Yeah. Yep.
And a couple of older people
Yeah.
are in the back seat. There's 5 of them, and there's only 4 bullets.
Right.
And so he ends up. We don't see it happen. The camera pans out, and you just hear the popping sounds, and you see the light from the gun going off. And the main character, his name's Thomas Jane in real life. His
Oh,
real
okay.
name.
Nice job.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of things. He shoots the other 4 people. He's like, I'll take you guys out of your misery, and I'll just, get killed by the monsters or whatever.
Yeah.
So he gets
Including
out,
his son.
including his son, who was asleep but then wakes up right as he's about to pull the trigger.
Oh, man. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That is rough.
Yeah. So he gets out of the car. He's freaking out because he just murdered 4 people, including his son and his love interest. All of a sudden, the mist starts disappearing. You see the military cars roll up, and the mist is gone, is disappearing. Like literally 10 seconds after he killed his family and the other people in the car.
Yeah.
And that is how this movie ends.
Yeah.
It is so intense. And he's just like screaming. He's in so much like agony from doing this, and it's bad.
Yeah, because if he would have just waited
If he
10
had
more
waited,
seconds,
yeah.
everybody would be fine. Mm-hmm. Everybody'd be cool. And now he has to live with that.
Yeah. And this is based on a Stephen King short story, which I never read the short story, but that is not how it ended in his story. And I heard that he actually was very impressed with how that ended. So
that's...
His ending probably has a happier ending or something.
Yeah. I don't know if that's exhilarating. I wouldn't call that exhilarating.
It's exhilarating. It's depressing.
Yeah.
It's shocking. That's what we're going for.
That's what the title is for this episode.
Yeah. It's a very shocking thing to...
Yeah. Maybe it's like shocking and then depressing, but then exhilarating.
Yeah. It's all three rolled up into one.
All right. Yeah, that's a good one. I actually forgot about that and I didn't even put that on my list.
Man.
And I can't believe that I would do that to myself. Okay, so my number 2, we already talked about, Saw.
Okay.
But we didn't say what it was, so I will say what it is. So
I didn't. He didn't go into it. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad it's on your list.
So Saw, the movie itself, is about a guy kidnaps a couple of guys, and they're in this like abandoned building in this bathroom, and they're chained to different corners, and they have tapes, and they listen to the tapes, and it basically says you have a certain amount of time, you need to figure out how you guys have this connection, and if you can do that, then you can get out. But there is a poison circulating through the air, and he says in the tape, once this poison gets you and you're about to die, the only thing you can do is basically kill yourself, is what he's saying. And there's this body in the middle of the room that has like blood all over his head. It's this guy with blood all over his head, and basically in the tape it's saying that person has also been in this room, and they killed themselves. So it's kind of like this is serious. Like, I'm not playing around. Like, this guy has tried and failed.
Yeah.
So good luck. So there's a lot more to the movie, but toward the end, one of the characters is like, screw this, I'm getting out of here, because he realizes that his wife and child are in danger.
Yeah.
So he saws off his foot. And like, it shows him sawing his foot.
Yeah.
Hence the title.
Yeah.
So he gets his foot all the way off, and he crawls out of the room, and acting when he's leaving.
Yeah. I mean, he's losing a lot of blood, though, to be fair.
But just the way he's acting is it's so funny. So he's like crawling out, leaving. And then the other guy's just kind of left there to die. Mm-hmm. And then the time runs out.
Yeah.
Okay. So the one guy that sawed his foot off, he kind of, I guess, survives, which we see later in the series.
Yeah.
So I guess he won the game, and with no foot.
Yeah.
And then this other guy's left there to die, and then that guy who's in the middle of the room stands up.
Oh, man.
And you find out that he was the one that orchestrated everything.
Yep.
And at one point toward the end, you think you know who the guy is that orchestrated everything. It's, this guy who kidnapped that other character's family, which is why he sawed his foot off and left.
Yeah.
But it's not him. He's got his own game going on. The guy in the middle of the room is Jigsaw. And he zaps the other guy who was in the room. And then he just walks out and shuts the door and says, what?
Game over.
So, yeah, exhilarating. I teared up. It was just so beautiful.
Yep, he was in that room the entire movie.
Yeah, that was so cool. And, like, man, you would have to...
He didn't move once. Like,
yeah,
that's-
you would have to be really, really calm.
Yeah.
Which they show later in the series, how he was able to
Yeah.
actually do this. So I'm glad that they cleared that up a little bit, because that'd be really hard to pull off.
Yeah, it would be.
to
Because they were
be-
in there for a while.
To act like you're dead
Yeah.
for that long. It'd be hard to pull off.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's what happened.
Oh,
So.
man. Yeah. I was saving that one for you. That's why I didn't say it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll go with that. My number one, and this is for shock value. This is shocking. This is why
I'm
we're
really
doing this,
surprised or curious.
doing this in the first place for the shock value.
I wonder if it's going to be my number one.
My number one is Deep Blue Sea. Samuel L. Jackson.
I don't even remember this movie.
Really? Oh man.
Oh man, Deep Blue Sea.
Deep Blue Sea.
Okay.
Yes, it is a shark
That's so
movie.
random.
But the scene is crazy.
Okay, all right. Explain this.
So is like one of the Samuel L. Jackson is the main character of this movie,
Okay.
supposedly.
Oh, that's cool.
Have you even seen it?
I'm sure I have, but it's like an
Okay.
older movie.
Yeah.
It didn't really shock
It's like
me, apparently.
late 90s, yeah. And they're underwater in this facility that's being flooded right now from these 3 sharks.
That crashed into it.
Yeah.
Flooded it.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're underwater trying to escape, and a couple of the characters are kind of freaking out about it,
Yeah.
about what to do. And Samuel L. Jackson gets up, gives like some speech, because he was you find out he was a survivor of like an avalanche with like 6 or 7 other people.
Okay.
And there was only like 2 or 3 of them that survived that, and he was one of them.
Uh-huh.
And so he's giving this inspirational speech about sticking
While
together.
it's flooding?
Well, I mean, the area around them is flooding. The place that they're in, the room that they're in,
Yeah.
hasn't really been touched really.
Okay.
But they need to escape because it's going to at some point.
Yeah.
So he's right next to basically the open water, open ocean there, and he's giving a speech. And towards the end of it, a shark comes up out of the water and grabs him and pulls him down.
Okay.
And then the other shark like rips him apart basically.
Okay.
And it's just obviously wasn't expecting that to happen.
Right.
Because Samuel L. Jackson, even back in like the late 90s, was still like a really, really well-known actor and everything.
Didn't expect
So,
him to die off like that.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty quick too. Like
Yeah.
he was probably the second person that died.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
this is kind of early on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like maybe the first half hour of the movie or so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's like a Scream style
Kind of, yeah.
shocking moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
and
pretty
it was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Pretty exhilarating.
That does sound exhilarating, actually. Yeah, that was, wow. And it's like, you're not only not expecting him to die, but I'm sure like the jump scare of that was part of the exhilarating exhilaration
moments of that scene.
Yeah.
The CGI wasn't the greatest when it happened.
Oh, okay.
Obviously.
You mean it wasn't like a real shark?
Yeah, Samuel Jackson didn't actually get eaten by a shark. It's crazy.
Okay.
And then
I'm gonna have to watch that, at least that scene, because I don't remember the movie that well. But
yeah, the movie itself is okay, but
Yeah.
that scene is definitely the best part of it.
wow.
LL Cool J's in it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Another one with Thomas Jane. That was
Oh wow,
Yeah.
he's in this one
Yep.
too.
Yep.
Wow, he likes those shocking movies.
yeah, he does. Yeah.
Oh man.
He's in
okay.
2 of my
Number
5.
one.
Number one.
Number
yeah.
one.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it,
Wow.
and Yeah, and when we were putting this together, that was like the first one that came to mind. Like,
Okay.
honestly, it was just... So I'm like, I have to put that at number one
All
since
right.
it's the first one that popped
Yeah.
into my mind. So.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure nobody listening expected that.
probably not. No.
That was all right. Now, I mean, mine is also more so shocking. My number one, not like a twist or anything like that. And it's still like whenever I watch this movie, which I've only done a couple of times, I'm like waiting for that part, and I like kind of tense up. It's The Exorcist.
Oh, okay.
When she starts kind of going crazy.
Yeah.
You know, she's clearly possessed at this point. And I think, I can't remember if it was like a nurse or a doctor or a priest who comes into the room because her mom is like, she needs help, I don't know what to do. Comes into the room and she is talking all like, she has like a super deep voice. And her face, like she kind of, I think she has some like scratches on her face, and she's just looking really crazy. And the way that they did it was just, it looks so real back then, you know?
Yeah.
And because it's all practical effect, it's all makeup and stuff, you know, it's not CGI.
Yeah.
And so the voice was obviously not her voice, but it was like distorted or whatever. But the stuff that she says... so shocking to come from like what was she, 11 or 12 or something
like that. Yeah,
like, oh man, that's why that movie is hard to watch for me, because it's just shocking, the stuff that she says and then the thing that she does in that scene. Do you remember what she does with a crucifix?
Oh yeah, I do. It's been a while since I've seen it, but yeah, there's just some images you can't get out of your mind.
Yeah, that I'm not even gonna say. But yeah, and the things that she says while she's doing that, and then to top it off, she spins her head around. Her head slowly rotates 360 degrees, and it looks so real.
Yeah,
because again, it's practical effects, it's not CGI, so it's actually being filmed as it's happening. You know, they don't film it and then go in and edit and make things look with computers or whatever. So, oh man,
it is
shocking.
a crazy movie.
Especially that part.
Yeah,
I think if it wasn't for that part, I'd probably watch that movie more, but that part, man.
So you're starting this on the dialogue and ending it on the dialogue.
Yeah,
kinda.
that was the dialogue, but also the actions.
Yeah.
That's See, if it was just the dialogue, it wouldn't have been so shocking.
Yeah,
but man, the thing.
But it's a couple
what she says with what she does, it's just like, oh my gosh, how was this movie even like received? I mean, it was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Picture.
Yeah, that's
and the
crazy.
stuff she says in that part, I'm like, what? How were people even like praising this movie? Like, it's very ballsy to do that, and I respect that for sure. But I just can't believe it got mainstream success.
Yeah,
with some of the stuff that happens in that movie.
Yeah, there's been some like rumors and everything that the crew and everything was like haunted and and everything like that. Like I think people like
died.
mysteriously died.
Yeah.
There was another one like that too. I don't remember what it was though.
Yeah,
but like some of the crew would just mysteriously die from something.
Right. And I think Linda Blair, I think is her name, the girl. She couldn't get other jobs.
No.
After that.
Yeah.
Like
it's an instant classic. It's an instant horror classic.
Yeah.
But at the same time ruined her career.
Yeah, it's a career-ending role for her. But I know her name.
Yeah.
Just
counts for something.
Man. Yeah. Do you get why that's number one for me?
Yeah,
Does that
I
make
do.
Sense?
It definitely does make sense. Okay. I wasn't even thinking about The Exorcist.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it moving in a while, so I need to rewatch that one.
Yeah.
But so especially for its time, like even if it was made now, that movie
I don't even know if you could do that now.
No, I don't
Like
think you really
that
could.
would not make theaters.
There's, yeah, especially that one scene you're talking
Yeah.
about. I don't think. No, it wouldn't have. It
I mean,
wouldn't have
even
been able to get made. Like maybe most of it would have been.
Yeah,
they would
most
have
of
been
the
able to
movie.
make most of it, but not that one scene that's
Yeah,
your number
not-
one.
yeah.
So
like Rob Zombie's movies go to theater.
yeah,
But this, if that was in that in the movie, if it
Rob
was,
Zombie directed The Exorcist.
oh man, that would be something you would watch in hell. that would not be something you would watch here on Earth. But yeah, that's a rough one. Eventually, we will probably have to review that movie. So
Yeah, it's a classic. You have to review it.
you know, I hear that not the second one, but the third one is pretty good.
Yeah,
I heard the third Exorcist is actually.
I've heard a
pretty
couple
good.
of them are pretty good, but
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything past one.
Yeah,
So
yeah, me either.
it's a good list. Good list
Yeah.
of movies there.
Exhilarating list. Man,
Yes.
I'm gonna take a deep breath. Okay. Do you have any other ones you want to just kind of mention, or?
Well, there's one that I wasn't sure was gonna make my list, but I can definitely talk about it. Identity,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's
my number one horror movie.
again,
Both of our number one horror movies
yeah.
of that decade.
yeah.
That
It's
came out?
very exhilarating
It is.
ending for sure. Very psychological.
Yeah, it is definitely. I mean, that's really the only one that
Okay.
came to mind as far as other movies and stuff.
I was thinking of Psycho.
Okay.
How you find out that it's been Norman the whole time. It wasn't his mom,
Yeah.
because I knew it going in when I watched it, because it was just common knowledge by the time I saw the movie. But I know it's like classic. That's what makes that movie classic.
Yeah.
Is that twist at the end.
Yeah.
That his mom is actually dead. And he kind of dresses up as his mom and talks to his mom.
Yeah.
All this
Which,
stuff.
if you watch that movie today for the first time after like already seeing all these other movies come out, it's really not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But this came out in
1960.
1960. It's still black and white.
60 years ago.
That is crazy. That is ridiculous. So that whole concept didn't really exist.
Yeah.
Like obviously there were people like that in the world.
Yeah.
But you never saw a movie about that kind of thing. Like
Right.
that was a whole that Alfred Hitchcock took horror to a whole new level with that movie.
Definitely.
And gotta respect the guy for that. He is still one of my favorite directors. Like
Yeah. I gotta watch more of his stuff.
Most of the movies that I've seen are like really good.
Yeah.
So
Okay, I had one more to mention, and this is also not like necessarily a moment. It's the whole movie.
okay.
Human Centipede. That's pretty shocking. I mean, I guess if that can be made,
Yeah.
did that go to theaters?
I think the first one did. There's like 3 of them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That was like a pretty like a lot of people know about that movie.
Yeah.
And it's just so disturbing and gross.
Yeah.
The concept, and like it's just like why? Why? And it's for shock value for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah. That whole There's no substance to that movie whatsoever. It's all shock value.
Yeah.
There's
So-
like it's I'm sure it was probably a pretty low budget, probably pretty cheap to make that movie. Got a bunch of like no name people to be like, you want to be a movie star?
Sure. Okay. Well, let me tell you what we got to do. You got to get on your hands and knees. It's like, what?
Oh man.
I'll do something different. I don't need to be a movie star.
I'm good. This is gonna destroy my career, my non-existent career. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I heard the third one that was like the centipede was 50 people.
It's getting close to an actual centipede.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think I only saw maybe like half of the first one or something. Maybe I watched the whole thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
But if I did, I took it out of my mind.
Yeah.
I know I've seen some of the first one for sure.
Yeah, I think I've seen all of the first one.
Okay, you're sick.
Yeah.
Sick.
We've
sick
established
person.
this in other episodes, so yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't have any more to mention.
Yeah, I should have done a couple more on there, but I couldn't really think
fine.
of too many more. I mean, like we watched a bunch of horror movies, so to shock us
Yeah.
at this point, it
takes a bit.
Yeah, it's not an easy feat. So the movies and some of the movies that I had on my list, like they were shocking the first time when I watched them years ago.
Yeah.
So like Deep Blue Sea, I saw that in theaters in '98.
Okay.
So that was like 22 years ago.
Wow.
I'm old.
Yeah, when you start saying 20, it sounds like...
It sounds
Wait,
ridiculous.
is that
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the 90s was 20 years ago. So yeah, I was like 13 when I saw that.
Yeah.
12.
Yeah, it does sound
yeah.
pretty exhilarating.
Yeah.
I don't really remember it, though.
And in theaters, too, that was pretty intense.
Yeah, I can see that.
That particular scene, at least, was pretty intense.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, if you guys think of any shocking moments that were not on our list, or you want to comment on anything that we talked about, send us a comment. Let us know. Send us a message on Facebook or on Twitter. Facebook, we're at Scare Talk Podcast. Twitter, we're at Scare Talk Pod. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, and a few other ones. And so this is just shocking. I need to go meditate now.
It's been a shocking episode, everybody.
Oh man, can't get these images out of my mind now. Okay, well, this has been Scare Talk.
Sleep tight.
Don't let
The shockers bite.
don't let the centipede bite.